A mother's fury burns brighter than any star, and the Empire will burn with it. The Impides mistake. The Galactic Empire had long feared humanity's potential. They had seen the ingenuity, the defiance, the sheer tenacity with which humans survived. Yet they had never truly understood what made humans dangerous. Not until they slaughtered 1,200 human children on the colony of Elysium Prime, they thought it would be a message. A warning to the rebellious outer worlds that defying the Empire meant annihilation. They did not know that among those children was the only son of General Cassandra Wheeler, the most feared strategist and warrior humanity had ever known. When Cassandra received the news, she did not cry. She did not scream. She did not break, she burned, and the stars would burn with her. A war of one. Cassandra had spent her life on the battlefield, carving her name into history with blood and brilliance. The Empire had made a mistake in leaving her alive. She went silent for a month. Disappeared from the human colonies. Some thought she had given up. Some thought she had taken her own life in grief. The truth was far worse. In the deepest corners of the void, where even the Impides gaze did not reach, Cassandra built something terrifying. She gathered outlaws, warlords, and broken warriors who had lost everything to the Impides cruelty. She promised them one thing, vengeance, and when she returned, she did so with a fleet that should not have existed. Ships clad in midnight black, weaponry of a design the Empire had never seen, and a singular, unbreakable will. She did not declare war, she simply began burning. The Empire feels fear. The first strike was at the forge world of Drakkar 7. Drakkar 7. It was a world that churned out Imperial warships like a machine, responsible for half the fleet's production. Cassandra did not blockade it, she annihilated it. Her fleet emerged from the void like a phantom storm. The orbital defenses, designed to repel fleets 10 times her size, fell in hours. The shipyards collapsed, factories burned, and the entire world was turned to slag. Not a single human life was taken, because there were no humans there. Only the Impides' own kind. Her message was clear: an eye for an eye? No, 1,000 eyes for one. And I am just getting started. The Impides mistake, Part II. The Empire scrambled to respond. They sent fleets, warlords, assassins. They all vanished into the black. Cassandra was not fighting a war of attrition. She was fighting a war of extinction. 1 by E1, the Impides core systems fell. Worlds burned, ships vanished, and fear spread like wildfire. It was then that the Emperor himself made the worst decision of his reign. He challenged her. A transmission was sent across the galaxy. You want vengeance, General Wheeler? Face me on Orion Prime. No fleets. No armies. Join me. In this. It was meant to be a trap. A final gambit to break her, but Cassandra did not fear death. She welcomed it. Imhotep's wrath. Orion Prime was the heart of the Empire, the throne world. Heavily fortified, impenetrable, Cassandra arrived alone. The Impides forces watched as a single, sleek warship descended into the capital. No army followed. No fleet waited in the void. The Emperor sat upon his gilded throne, confident, until Cassandra walked into his palace, alone, dressed in black armor that pulsed with unseen energy, carrying a blade forged from the ruins of Drakkar 7. She strode forward. The Emperor sneered. You think you can kill me? Cassandra did not answer, she simply threw something at his feet. A detonator. 1 press. 1 second, and every Imperial world would ignite. She had spent years planting weapons across the Impides' heart. Bombs in their capital ships. Baidesis in their systems. She had not just come to kill the Emperor, she had come to end the Empire. Your rule dies today, she said, pressing the detonator, and the stars burned. A new dawn. The Empire was no more. Its fleets, its armies, its rulers, gone. In its place, humanity rose. Not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as something greater. A mother had burned the stars for her son, and from the ashes, a new galaxy was born. Imhotep's fury burns brighter than any star. The ashes of innocence. The Galactic Empire thought nothing of the 1,200 human children they executed on Eos Prime. They were merely casualties, pawns sacrificed to ensure obedience. But they had unknowingly sealed their fate. Among the dead was the son of General Adrian Valera, a woman whose very name sent tremors through the Impides ranks. When she arrived at the massacre site, she did not weep. She did not scream. She simply knelt, pressing a blood-streaked hand against her son's lifeless face. And in that moment, she did not vow revenge, she vowed annihilation. Embers of war. Adrian Valera had spent her life as a soldier, fighting the impetus wars before she saw their cruelty for what it was. She had defected, leading the human resistance across the stars. The Empire had tried to kill her 100 times, but they had never dared touch her son. Until now, she stood aboard the bridge of the Stormborn, her flagship, as the names of the fallen children were whispered through the fleet's comms. Each name was a promise, each life lost a debt to be repaid in fire and blood. We move on Icarus Station first, she declared. No survivors. Hit officers hesitated. Icarus Station was a fortress, the Impetus' largest military hub in the sector. An attack there would be suicidal, but Adrian was beyond caution. The first flame when the Stormborn emerged from hyperspace above Icarus. It was not alone. 50 warships followed, their weapons charged. The Empire expected a skirmish, a mere raid. They were wrong. Adrian's forces did not attack with precision, they attacked with fury. She did not issue demands. She did not negotiate. She sent a single message to the station's commander: "You killed my son. Now I will kill everything you love." Missiles rained down like falling stars, tearing through the station's defenses. Imperial warships scrambled, but they were outmaneuvered, outmatched by the sheer rage driving Adrian's forces. By the time the battle ended, Icarus Station was nothing but debris floating in the void. The galaxy takes notice. The destruction of Icarus sent shockwaves across the Empire. What had once been a scattered rebellion now had a leader with a singular, terrifying purpose. Systems that had hesitated to rise against the Empire now swore fealty to Adrian Valera. The Empire branded her a terrorist. They put a bounty on her head large enough to buy an entire fleet, but Adrian was no fugitive. She was a storm, growing stronger with every system she conquered. The inferno spreads, world after world fell. Imperial governors were dragged from their palaces and executed. Imperial troops surrendered or were burned alive in their barracks. Adrian gave no mercy, for mercy had died with her son. Her forces adopted her mantra: "The Empire killed our children. We will kill their future." Entire academies were razed. Imperial recruitment centers bombed. The heart of the Empire, their ability to raise the next generation of soldiers, was being choked up. The Emperor's mistake. The Emperor himself, Varian Kane, had underestimated her. He sent fleets to crush her rebellion, only to see them shattered. Desperate, he offered a truce. Adrian sent him a reply, an Imperial General's severed head, delivered with a simple message: no surrender. Only death. The burning of Solus Prime. The Impetus' last bastion in the sector was Solus Prime, a world thought to be impenetrable. It was where the Emperor's elite legions were stationed. Adrian did not besiege it. She did not wait. She struck with the force of a dying star. The battle lasted for days, but in the end, Solus Prime burned. Adrian stood amidst the ruins, watching as the Empire's banners were torn down, their legions reduced to corpses. The Impetus' power in the sector was broken. The mother who became a legend with Solus Prime fallen. Adrian turned her eyes to the Imperial throne world. She would not stop until the Empire was nothing but dust. Legends would whisper her name. Not as a general. Not as a rebel, but as the mother whose fury burned brighter than any star, and as long as she lived, the Empire would burn with it. The Empire's mistake. The Galactic Empire believed itself untouchable. Its legions spanned thousands of worlds, its fleets darkened the stars, and its rule was enforced with an iron fist. Resistance was a flickering candle in the void, always snuffed out before it could ignite a blaze. But empires do not fall by the hands of armies alone. Sometimes, they crumble beneath the wrath of a single soul. The Empire sealed its fate on the world of Eris-9. It was supposed to be a simple pacification effort. A small colony had refused to pay the imperial tithe, emboldened by whispers of rebellion spreading through the outer rim. As punishment, the Imperials made an example of them. Troopers descended in the dead of night, rounding up dissenters, executing leaders, and torching homes. But they went too far. They killed 1,200 human children. And they did not know that one of those children belonged to General Celine Voss. The scream heard across the stars. Celine Voss was not just any general. She was a war hero, a tactical genius, and a legend whispered among imperial officers with wary respect. Back to her daughter, she had been simply mum. When the news reached her aboard the battleship Eidolon, she did not weep. She did not scream. She did not rage, she simply ceased to be human. In that moment, Celine became something else entirely. A force of nature. A singularity of vengeance, and she swore an oath upon the bones of her child: the Empire will burn. The gathering storm.